What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is January 1st, 2022 and I'm going to start working on the Evo today. I thought what better day to start working on the Evo than the first day of the year, and then we can see how long it takes me. But before we get to that, I thought I'd show you around the shop. It hasn't been finished yet, I'm still working on stuff, but I just want to get stuck into the car. So first off, we'll work our way around. There's not really much going on here. This here is going to have a couch and chill out area and a bit of a weight area. As you can see, I've now almost finished sealing this whole end of the shed in. This here's finished. These two here are doors. Up the front end of the farm there is some clear light that's going to go in there just to let a bit of natural light through the end of the shed. So we'll work our way around here. So we've got our new bench here, one of the new benches. So this here's going to be for doing, I don't know, clean stuff, electrical work, all that kind of stuff. That'll be done on there. And then on this bench, this will be all the grubby stuff, because I don't care if I mess that bench up. So starting back here, we have bench, cabinet full of paints, all sorts of stuff like that, paint thinners, oils. We've got our bearing press over there, some welding stuff, bunch of just half sorted stuff down here, bench grinder, toolbox full of bolts and nuts and screws. Here's the welder I'll be using. So it's a Unimig Viper 185, does MIG, TIG and stick welding. I do have a trolley for that. I ordered it about 3 months ago, still not here. So that welder will go with all the stuff in that box on its own trolley. And also with that trolley, I've been waiting for a vise, which is again 3-4 months wait. So the vise will end up on this bench at some stage. Moving along, we have a sandblasting cabinet, which I just picked up. That there I can do all sorts of little parts in, all the suspension arms, clean those all up. I'm using glass bead in there, so it's not too harsh. That's the air compressor I just bought to supply air to this. But I also have some other fittings for that as well. I've got so working our way around, we've got the shop vac and then my tool chest. I won't go too in depth on this thing, but it's kind of sorted out. You know, you've got spanners and all the socket sets, and got a couple of torque wrenches, all that kind of stuff in there. And over here we have a temporary bench set up where I am currently working on an AYC pump for the car. This is a spare one I had. This piece here actually I just media blasted yesterday, so you can kind of see how that's come up compared to that. So quite a difference, which is why I wanted the cabinet, because I want to media blast all the parts in the back of the Evo and pretty much kind of want to do a bit of a mini resto. Just clean everything up, strip everything back, repaint everything. In the cabinet over here I actually have, so in here I've got the Gravitex. I've got 2 white and 1 black. There's like an undersealer for the car. I've got red caliper paint for the Brembos. Got a bunch of other paints in here and weld through primer and that. So when I come to do the chassis rails, that's all sorted. This here's my Evo shelf. It's mainly suspension componentry in here at the moment. There is the skunk tooth throttle body and bits and pieces in there. And then this box is completely full of gaskets. Yeah, there's all the paint thinners and all that kind of stuff up there, all the cleaning products, and then oils at the bottom. So I think we have everything to get started on the car. First thing I'm going to do is obviously jack it up. I think the idea is I'll jack it up, put it on jack stands, take the rear bumper off, take the wheels off and any other parts around it that are going to make it easier for me to get under the car, and I'll chuck that on time lapse now while I do that. Okay, so I pulled the rear bumper off the car and I've had it off before, but now that I have some good lighting I can actually see. The more I look at this car, the more I realize it's definitely been resprayed and not very well. So if you look down over here, you can kind of see where the paint's kind of built up on the corner of the panels here. And like if you come down here, that there is clearly a paint drip. You can see here there's a bit of, I don't know what you call it, like crazy cracking. No, it's not even cracking, it's just rust, I think, underneath the panel there coming through. Probably because it's where the fuel filler is. And then if you come over here, you can actually see where the respray is, where they've taped it up poorly. So they haven't even taken the door handles out to actually spray the panel properly. They've just kind of masked or done something and sprayed it, and it's not very good. So just another thing, you know, this thing's the gift that keeps on giving. Also, so this cable here, I don't know what this is for. I'm guessing it's something to do with the nav unit or whatever that was in the car, but anyway, rear bumper's off, so I'm going to jack the car up now, take the wheels off and see how high I can get this car safely so I can work under it. Alright, so the car's all jacked up now. I've taken the wheels off and I mean everything looks pretty old and crusty in there. You've seen it before. I'll run through everything again now and show you what's going on and show you what we're going to do and replace. Alright, so under here everything looks pretty old and used under here, as you can see. This here's where the AYC pump lives. This here is hornets making a nest or some other weird Aussie bug. Yeah, generally speaking, it's pretty worn out under here. All the bushes, all these bushes here, they're all shot, so they all need to come out. And yeah, I basically pull the diff out. So if I really get underneath under this arm here, I think I've shown you before, but up underneath here, there's some of the rust in the chassis rail, so that's got to come out. It looks a little bit wet, but that's because I've put some cavity seal on it just to stop it getting even worse, even though you can't get much worse. I mean, it's dangerous anyway. Yeah, so I've got to pull out everything underneath here. As you can see up in here too, it's rusting through the side of the chassis leg. We'll get a proper look at all this once I pull the whole rear end of the car out. Right, so starting at the back of the car here, I'm going to get new discs. The rear brake calipers and the front brake calipers are going to be rebuilt, and I'm going to put new braided lines in and get rid of the old lines because, I mean, they've seen better days. The Bilsteins, I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I may try and refurb them. I have the paint to recoat them, but it may not be worth it. We'll see. Obviously, part of doing the chassis rails, I have to take out all the rear suspension arms, the diff and everything, so all the rear suspension arms, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to have to pull all of this out. I've got new ball joints. I have some new bushings, not all of them yet, because I wanted to see what condition they're all in, but to be honest, they're probably all stuffed. So I'm expecting to pretty much replace everything in the back end of this car when it comes to ball joints and bushings. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this up inside here, and then I've got that new Gravitex that I'm going to spray in here and make it look like new. Now if we nip underneath the car here, you can see through there, That's the rusted chassis rail with a hole through it. Absolutely destroyed and incredibly dangerous. So that piece there that you're looking at, which looks all nice, this piece in here, that there is that piece in there. So super excited to get this all out and get everything all looking nice and virtually new again. These brackets up here, they hold the upper suspension arm. I've bought new ones from Japan. I'm just anything that I can replace, I'm going to replace it. So I'm also thinking of getting a zinc coating kit and re-zinc coating all the bolts myself. It's only a few $100s for a kit, and I mean they've got to be coated regardless. They're old, they're crusty, some of them are rusted, so some will be replaced if they look dodgy, and any that are just dirty, I'll clean them up and try and re-zinc them myself. If that doesn't work, I'll just get someone else to do it, or I'll buy new ones. But I guess it's time to start pulling at the rear end of this car apart. So I'm not really entirely sure how to go about it. Obviously, first thing to do is to drain the brake fluid, AYC pump fluid, diff fluid, and then I can start disassembling everything. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll see you when I've started pulling things apart. Right, so I'm just draining the rear diff oil at the moment, and thought I would show you the drain plug, which must be magnetic. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is all little fine metal shavings. I think it's okay, there's no chunks, it's just really, really fine material. Who knows when this was changed last? I have been meaning to change it. I haven't really put many Ks on this car. So because the material's super fine, it's probably okay, but I do have all new oils, all genuine Mitsubishi oils. Obviously I'll swap over, and when the diff's out, I'll probably try and pull it apart a little bit just to give it a bit of an inspection and see what's going on. But anyway, on to draining the fluids. Right, so we have taken all of the suspension arms out of the driver's side. Went pretty straightforward. I haven't pulled apart an Evo in particular before, but nothing really outside the norm. The drive shaft came out fine, ball joints popped fine, so yeah, there you have it. It doesn't look too bad. Like, I've pulled all the plastic covers and stuff off, and there's no rust anywhere else. It's purely just that chassis leg, which is great, because if there was rust anywhere else, that would be really disappointing. So that's good, I'm happy with that. I was super worried that I was going to find some rust in the seams of the guards or something like that, but seems to be fine. And on this side here, being the passenger side, obviously I haven't got stuck into this side yet. I'm about to do this now. There is a little more suspect looking stuff on this side, mainly here. I don't know if it'll pick it up on camera. This here looks a bit sus, but we are replacing that. And this here looks a little sus as well. That there usually happens if it rusts from the inside, but, and you probably can't see, the seam here looks fine and I can't feel any rust in there. So yeah, where that rust is in the end of the guard, it feels fine on the inside. It doesn't feel bubbled or anything. It's factory coating, so I think, fingers crossed, we replace these chassis legs and we will be good to go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a bit of a mini restoration. I kind of alluded to that earlier, but replace pretty much everything I can with new genuine stuff. Even like the plastic guards that go on the inside of the bumper, I'm probably just going to buy new ones for the 40 bucks they're worth. I might as well do it. Full rebuild kit on the Brembos. Going to get new rear discs. I'm going to double check all of the suspension bushings now, and if any of them look dodgy, I'll replace them. My gut feel right now is that I'm probably just going to replace them all anyway, and then I don't have to worry about it for a very long time. The rear sway bar's got a bit of rust on it where the linkages all bolt up, so I might just get a white line rear sway bar. I've heard that's a good upgrade for these anyway. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to truck on and get this side done and check in with you, and that's probably going to be it for today, but I might pull some more stuff out, so time to get back into it. So all the suspension arms from the driver's side, I've kind of laid them all out here. So you've got your upper, rear trailing arm, tie rods, yada yada yada. Everything looks to be somewhat okay considering. I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but so all the bushes are perished. I will put new boots on these feel really hard. This one here feels really hard. So I'll replace that, re-grease the axles. I will sandblast down all of the arms, probably strip this apart, sandblast some of this down, recoat everything, stuff like this. This is what I was talking about. I want to be able to zinc coat it and just freshen that up. So yeah, time to pull the passenger side apart. Alright, so I've now pulled apart the passenger side. Everything on this side looks pretty good as well, except for that spot that I pointed out earlier just here. This arm here is unbolted, but this bolt here is clashing with the fuel filler neck. I did undo this, but it's a little bit tricky to get out, so I'm just going to leave it there until I drop the rear diff and everything. Also got the sway bar out. So look underneath the car, all we've got is mustache bar, diff. Obviously I'm going to have to take out the exhaust and the drive shaft, and then so once I've taken out the drive shaft and the exhaust and dropped the diff and everything out, I just got to pull the back seats out, pull out the fuel tank, and then I can get started on drilling out the chassis rails. In the meantime, I've also got brakes to sandblast and paint, all of these control arms, all of that's going to get sandblasted and well cleaned up. I'm not going to paint those, I'm just going to leave them alloy, and anything else to do with the hubs and knuckles, I'll probably try and sandblast the knuckles down. The bearings in these actually feel a lot better than I thought they would, so I may actually keep those, I don't know, but there is a lot of cleaning here to do. So I'm glad I got the sandblasting cabinet, but it's going to be a lot of time sandblasting parts. A lot of podcasts and a lot of sandblasting. So that's all for today. I'm going to go and have a shower because I am filthy. Going to clean the workshop up a little bit, and in the next video will probably be me pulling the rear diff out, the drive shaft and the fuel tank, and probably the rear seats, and then I'm probably going to clean all the parts before I do the chassis rail, just so that once I've done the chassis rail I feel like I've done everything and I can just bolt it all back together, rather than doing the chassis rail and then going, oh, I've got to go and clean everything. So psychologically I just think that'll feel better. So anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss out on me trying to cut the rear end out of my car. So I'll see you later.